Bry's Comics.
I have an exciting opportunity for two lucky people out there. How would you like to go to dinner and a movie with myself and Swagglehos and a whole bunch of my other comic book friends? We're all going to see Ant-Man Quantumania, the new Ant-Man movie at El Capitan Theater in Los Angeles on Friday, February 17th at 7 p.m., the fan screening event. And I have 2 extra tickets to give away. A very generous friend of mine, a subscriber of the channel, bought a bunch of tickets so we can do this big YouTube collaboration fan event thing. So Swagglehos is going to give away 2 tickets on his channel. If you're not already subscribed to Swagglehos, link in the description to his channel. I'm sure you all are. So we have 4 total tickets to give away, 2 on my channel, 2 on his channel. So the only requirement is you have to be able to get to LA. Do not enter this giveaway unless you plan on being able to be there. All you have to do to enter to win is leave the word Ant-Man down in the comments below. Depending on how many entries we get, I'll do a giveaway picker and pick 2 winners for that. Details to follow. We're gonna hang out before the show and it's just gonna be an awesome time. The hope is that some of the actors or producers are going to show up to this fan screening event. They have in the past for other screenings exactly like this. So that is the hope. It's going to be a killer time. Even if you can't make the show, if you're going to be in LA, maybe come hang out with us before the show, and details to follow about where we're going to be hanging out and everything like that. I hope to see you there. This is a real treat of a video. We're going to hop in the car and head over to Redding, California and take a look at Mike's collection. Mike is an awesome member of a community. It's always an absolute joy to get to meet other members of the community, and we're going to take a look at his actual collection, and then we are going to take some of his books and have one blockbuster whatnot show. And I'm going to take a percentage. I'm going to take 40% of the sales. He gets 60% of the sales after fees, and it's just going to be an awesome show. It's all Silver Age stuff. For the most part, there's some modern slabs, but mostly Silver Age raw books. And you're going to get to see all the books here momentarily. So make sure to check out the link down in the description. If you use my link to sign up for Whatnot for the first time, you get $15 towards your first purchase. So you could pick up one of these books for free. We're also going to talk about how to value raw book collections, which is a really nuanced and difficult topic in the community. And we're also going to talk about why some comic book collection purchases fall through and some potential ideas that I have about that could be exciting opportunities for you. But before we hop in the car, make sure you subscribe to the channel, comment on this video, and like this video for your chance to win this month's giveaway. We do a giveaway every single month here on the YouTube channel. And if you head over to bryscomics.com and sign up for the newsletter over there, you're also entered to win a free slab each and every month. And that's also where I send out first notification of new inventory, new collections. And if you use code COLLECT10, that code is always active. You get 10% off all in-stock items. And make sure to follow me over on Instagram. You're going to see later in this video a grail that came in that I offered for trade over on Instagram. So make sure you're following me over there if that's something that interests you. And with that said, let's hop into the car and talk about Mike's collection. All right, guys, we're going to see about this collection. We're heading to Redding, California, which is about an hour and 45 minutes away from me in Paradise, California. And we're going to see Mike. I've talked to Mike probably at least 2 dozen times on the phone over the past couple months. Mike is just a totally awesome guy. Sometimes we just call just to chat. So if anything, even if nothing works out with the comics, I definitely made a new friend, and that's always a really nice bonus when it comes to buying collections. So one of the biggest struggles with Mike's collection is trying to figure out exactly what he wants to let go of and how much it's worth. Mike has a ton of comics. He's got, a really nice run, I think a complete run of Avengers, an almost complete run of X-Men, some slabs, some really high-grade bronze stuff, just tons and tons and tons of comics. And he doesn't want to sell all of it. He just wants to thin the hoard. Coming up with a value has been, the toughest part, is knowing exactly what he wants to sell and exactly how much it's worth and how much I'm willing to pay. And that's a question that I get asked a lot, is how do you value raw book collections? And it's incredibly difficult. It's much more difficult than valuing slab collections. Slabs, you have a definite price. I can use GP analysis and eBay and recent sales, see what's listed, what recently sold, and with a very, very slim margin of error, know about exactly how much I can get for those slabs, so I can make a really strong offer based on those numbers. Slabs are easy. Raw books, on the other hand, are incredibly difficult to value because there's so many different variables with raw books, and the main thing, it all stems around condition. Because even if you have some raw book sales data about condition, like say you have some raw book sales data of a VF copy of something, and the prices swing drastically because maybe the book was listed as VF, but the buyer clearly saw that it was more like a VG copy, and so they paid way less. So even if you have sales data, it's skewed because of the variables regarding condition. And then you factor into it the quantity of books, and that's where it gets really tricky and a lot different than slabs. I mean, slabs, you might be talking about 100, 200 slabs, but with raw books, you're typically talking about 10,000 plus raw books, sometimes way more than that. So the time and labor that's going to be involved in selling them is way more, and the sales are way less. The short answer for how to value a raw book collection is you have to find a method that both the buyer and the seller are comfortable with it. That's it in a nutshell, And typically with raw book collections, I mean, I've been doing this for years now, and I'd say 95% of raw book collections don't happen because the seller thinks that their raw books are worth way more than they are, and the buyer, the dealer, thinks that they're worth way less than they are. And there's justified reasons for both of those things. The dealer, the buyer, is looking at this massive hoard of raw books from a standpoint of, whoa, that's a lot of work. That's going to take me so long to recoup my money. There's so much time involved, and that's the frame that they're looking at these raw books. The sellers, in a lot of cases, are looking at it from a skewed perspective as well about the value of their books. A lot of times they have their books entered into some kind of tracking system like Cover Price or Comic Price Guide, or some kind of online system that gives a per book value, and it spits out this incredibly high number for the fair market value of a 20,000 raw book collection, something like $250,000. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I get emails to somebody saying, I have it entered into here, it says it's worth 150 grand, it says it's worth 200 grand, and you go and you look at the actual collection, and there may be 1,000 books in there that are valued at $6 by Cover Price, and it's like a run filler mid-grade copy of some book that's never going to sell for $6. Even if you had the busiest brick and mortar comic book store in America with foot traffic every single day, if you have 1,000 run filler books that are valued at $6, they're just going to sit there. I mean, you might sell a tiny fraction of them, but for the majority, they're just going to sit there for a long, long time. So it's kind of a skewed perspective from both ends, and that's why they rarely come to fruition, these raw book collections. For the collections that I have purchased, raw books that I've went through, what worked well for both the buyer and the seller was to individually value the high grade, high value books. And in order to do that, you get a list of all the books that are worth, say, $100 or more. Have them send a few pictures, front and back, some detailed pictures, so you can get on the same page about the grade of the books, and then value each one of those, and then get a per box value for the rest of the books. And the per box value ranges widely depending on the books. If it's 15 cent high grade, 15 cent run filler books, the per box price on that is going to be a lot higher than mid grade 90s books, for example. So it all depends. There's a ton of nuance. I wish there was an easy answer to say this is how you value raw book collections, but it really does depend on the collection. So when it comes to buying collections, I try to make it as easy and painless as possible. And what it comes down to is, get me a list or pictures, something to give me an idea of what you have, and I will give you an offer. It's pretty much that simple. And then if we can strike a deal, I'll send you shipping labels. You ship the books to me, no money out of pocket. I make it literally as easy as possible. So if that's something that interests you, obviously contact info down in the description, but sometimes that is just too much to ask. Just the other day, somebody reached out and said they had 300 slabs. They were referred to me by somebody else. I told him what I could offer, 60% of recent sales. He said, wow, that's really good. That's a lot better than any of these other other offers I've been getting, so what are the next steps? I said, just give me a list and I'll shoot you an offer, and then I'll shoot you shipping labels. It's that easy. And he said, oh my gosh, like, you know, I have to get you a list. Like, I don't know if I can do that. I have kids. And it was just too much to get the list. And I said, okay, I'll make it even easier for you. Just send me pictures of the tops of the slabs while they're in the boxes, and I'll look up the values based on that. So he said, okay, I think I can do that. So he sent me about 10 pictures. There's supposed to be, you know, 300 books. He sent me about 10 pictures. Half of them were totally blurry and unlegible. And then he just said, it's too much. I can't do it. I can't do it. I have kids. And it was too overwhelming. And I understand. I totally understand, you know, that the prospect of doing this can be really overwhelming, but you know, I make it as easy as humanly possible, and if that's still not easy enough, a lot of times they fall through. So I want to try to figure out a way to offer a service to the community, possibly. I'm mulling over ideas about this, and let me know if you have any ideas yourself, to maybe have a page on my website of collections that I passed on, not because, you know, they were terrible collections necessarily, maybe it just wasn't quite right for me, but most likely just because the logistics didn't work out. It was too overwhelming to ship them. It was too overwhelming to come up with any kind of cohesive list to say what was in it. But a lot of times there's, you know, reasonable sellers that are really interested in selling their books, but they just can't get it together enough to get that information and get them shipped out. So maybe I'll have a page on my website that shows the location, and you can check. A lot of these collections, you know, are only going to happen if you can go see them in person, and I'm in California, so if they're in Florida, it's just not going to work out. So let me know if you have any thoughts about how I could do that. All right, so here we go, guys. I told Mike as soon as I walked in, the only problem that Mike has is that his man cave is too small. He doesn't need to sell any comic books. He just needs a bigger room.
Yes, I need a bigger boat.
That's his only problem here. So Mike's going to show us a little bit of, we're going to talk about what we are going to take home with us. So what we're going to do, guys, is we're going to have one packed Whatnot show, and it's going to have a ton of raw books, a really nice run of Avengers, X-Men, and then some Amazing Spider-Man, some randoms. So Silver Age runs there, and then there's a bunch of slabs that we're going to bring to the Whatnot show too. Nothing major, but some cool stuff. But why don't you show us these Polaroids real quick, Mike, before we hop into that. Tell us what we're looking at here.
You were looking when I was a kid in high school. I collected comic books. I had over 50,000 books. So these are some of the ones I just had above my desk when I was working. The full run of Hulk, the original Journey into Mystery, Iron Man #1, just a lot of books. So I've always loved them since I was probably 13 or 12, and I'm 66 now, so I'm coming back full turn.
All right, let's take a look at this Avengers run. So we got a really low grade issue #1. A great opportunity for someone for an entry level copy, and I'm going to go through it and assign it a grade and everything, and I'll have it preloaded and whatnot, so you can check the grade and what you think might be a good price to pay going into the show. But a nice little run of Avengers here. I think it is like 1 through 50 or so, and then a couple randoms after that. Multiple copies of some stuff.
Yeah, there's 3 of that.
So some really cool Avenger stuff if you need to, some run fillers. None of these are going to be super high grade, but I think that actually opens it up to more people.
Exactly.
So some random Daredevils. Some random Fantastic Fours. These will all be at the Whatnot show
Link in the description. So you can bookmark the show. You get $15 if you use my link, and I'm sure a lot of these books will go for $15 or less. So you could get some of these books for free if it's your first time at Whatnot. Some ASM,
Silver and bronze.
silver and bronze. Nothing crazy, but you can never get mad at ASM. And then a nice run at X-Men as well. 5, 6, 9, 12s, 2 or those 13s.
Yeah.
15s, 3 15s, 16. Call out the numbers, I can't see them
19,
anymore.
20, 20, 21, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 25, 26, 2 copies, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 34, 36, 36, and 48. All white pages.
So here for the slabs, we got a Boy Comics, Golden Ager, Boy Commandos.
All these are white pages or off-white.
Off-white or white, some awesome Golden Age stuff, some Golden Age Western.
White pages. And Pioneer Stories. I'm going to be selling that, but...
So tell us about it. So what do you got there?
This is a Kaufman embellished paint. He did the original painting, goes for hundreds of thousands. These usually go for anywhere between $300 to $8,500. But it's a Kaufman called Superman the Burst. If you look down, signed and numbered, a low number.
So if anybody's interested in that, just reach out to me and I can connect you here with Mike.
And then this is some of my Inner Sanctum stuff. That some I bought from Bry. I'll let him show. And ones that I just keep that I need more room to show.
Oh yeah, he's holding out.
I bought your Star Wars 1 from you. And I mean, sooner or later, some of this is going to get pared down. What I want to do is have you come over when we have more time, because I have doubles and triples of stuff, and I want to just keep my grade and pare it down. Like I have 4 copies of Iron Man 1 in the new series. I've got.
So this is the first deal that Mike and I are doing here. We're just kind of establishing a relationship and stuff, and hopefully in the future, you know, some more Whatnot shows and things like that will come out of this. So we're just wetting the whistle here. Mm-hmm. All right, so this is what somebody might be really interested in this video. Tell us about these 3 boxes, Mike.
So these 3 boxes are part of a collection that I bought that came from like San Jose area. It was a comic book shop that this lady owed money to another lady, so she took the comics as payment, and they've been in storage for, well, what is this, 1979? So they've been in storage since 79, 80. And they were in boxes or bags of 10, so I took them out and bagged and boarded, but they'd never been circulated. A lot of them are newsstands, and a lot of them are just super high end. So you're looking at like number 274. I mean, if you wanted to invest in a collection like this and take the time to get some of them graded, they're all high. I would say from what 8.5s to 9.8.
Yeah.
At the least.
Yeah, all super high grade. I'll throw some pictures up on the screen with some closer ups of the spine so you guys can see. But there's lots of multiples, about 10 copies of each book. I would say probably about 10% of them. I would say about 50% of the boxes are worth grading if they're a 9.8, and I would say about 10% of those are 9.8 candidates. So you could probably pull about 50 or 60 9.8s out of this. And
but if you have a run and you want higher end, and you want to trade out some of the ones you have that aren't this clean, this would be the way to go.
Yeah, so what we're going to offer it at is $4,000 plus shipping for all of it. I think that's a fair price, and if nobody is interested in that, we'll figure something else out. But a lot of them,
1,200 bucks.
I think there's about 850 books.
850?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
3 boxes packed pretty full. I'm going to take them with me to my shop, and they'll be available. I'll ship them out safe in short boxes if anyone's interested in this, and I'll put more details. So there you have it, guys. A really awesome video. I really enjoyed this one. I hope to see you over on Whatnot. Link in the description for $15 towards your first purchase, and you can bookmark that show. It'll be labeled something like Silver Age Raw Books or something. You should be able to easily find it. I hope to see you there for that. That Amazing Spider-Man 1 has been claimed since I filmed that video to when I'm filming this outro. It went super quick, so make sure you have your list of available slabs for trade ready to go for the next grail that comes up over on my Instagram page. I know the prospect of selling your collection or consolidating or downsizing can be incredibly overwhelming, but I do try to make it as painless and easy as humanly possible. Thank you as always for sticking with me to the end of the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bry's Comics.